Happy Halloween. It's Roger and James here from the DisKingdom Podcast. We're going to be talking all about Mickey's not-so-scary Halloween party over at Walt Disney World. James was there last week, so he's going to be telling us all about his little trip. So what did you think of the party?
It was a lot of fun. They're giving out candy. Everyone's there in costumes, not just the characters, but there's actually people wandering around in costume. It's the first time I've ever done the Halloween not so scary party, which was great. I've done Christmas a couple times. But yeah, I have to admit I was a little surprised at how little of the park is decorated for Halloween. Yeah. Because I remember being in Disneyland in January earlier this year, and it still had some of the Halloween stuff up over there, and they had a lot of it. Like the Haunted Mansion was decorated up, and It's a Small World was decorated up, and none of that was in Disney World. But once I got over that, it was fun to go around the park. See everything at night. You have the quartet singing. They've got the individual characters who normally aren't out, although I didn't see that many. And apparently, the lanterns from Tangled count as a character, which
okay.
Yeah. on the map, it's like you can go here for character experiences, and
I think that's isn't that a photo?
It's a photo.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, you can go over here and you can see the 100-acre woods, and they've got Tigger and Winnie and stuff, and then they're also in Halloween costumes on top of the costumes. And they're like, go over here, and it's like, oh, cool, it's something Tangled, and it's just the lantern. You're like, it's actually cool. It's a really cool picture, but it's like I'm not sure I count that as a character.
No. So what do you think of the actual the nighttime fireworks show?
So we did all three of them. There's a fireworks show, which is only once, because obviously fireworks. They do the parade, which goes twice, and then they've got the Hocus Pocus something or other, which shows 4 or 5 times at night. We did all three, kind of back to back to back. We're like, all right, this one's at 8:15, that one's at 8:45, that one's at 9:20. So we're just going to pick a spot right in front of the castle, and we're going to watch all three.
Yeah.
And that was great. Hocus Pocus was a lot of fun. I haven't seen the movie in like 20 years or whenever it came out.
Yeah.
But it was enjoyable.
I've seen it once. I do not understand all the blood. I don't get it personally, but nevertheless, carry on.
Well, I think we actually talked a little bit about that in one of our other podcasts. I think it's simply because it's one of your only options for Halloween movies on the Disney side. That was fun. They brought, obviously, not just the 3 characters out, but they got Maleficent on stage. They've got, what's the bad guy's name from Princess and the Frog?
Voodoo, the Doctor.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
Doctor
Voodoo. We'll call it for now.
That's a different character completely. Okay. That's a Marvel character, but yeah, you've got him, and so they do a little dance, and it's fun. The fireworks display was great. And then, of course, the parade, which is unique to the Halloween bit. I actually kind of prefer the regular parade, but it's always good to see something different. Always good to see different characters, ones that you don't normally see. And then again, just walking around the park and just getting candy all over the place. Now, I have to say, this has been going on since late September is when this actually starts. August, actually.
End of August.
And you could tell that the park attendants were just done with this. They're like, here's your candy, move on. Here's your candy, move on. Like, I mean, they were obviously very polite, but it was at the same time, it was a very brusque polite of, I've heard all the jokes by now. I've seen all the cool costumes by now. We're totally unfazed by everything.
The thing is now is like, even the costumes, they can't really go that elaborate because you're not allowed to cover your face. You're not allowed to dress up like a character. There's a little bit more restrictive. It's more like Disney bound in.
Yeah, and there were plenty of people who were pushing those limits as much as they could. There were definitely people, adults, dressed up as Disney princesses, and some of them were. I actually did see park attendants going kind of like, nah, you kind of have to change that up a little bit. Yeah. Kids, of course, are a different matter entirely. I saw plenty of Kylo Rens and even a Boba Fett or two, and they had the full costume on.
Yeah.
Special shout out to a couple. I saw someone dressed up as Yoshi from Mario. It was like, I don't think you know where you are, but cool. It was a very good costume. There was a young woman who was dressed up as Kiki from Kiki's Delivery Service, one of the Miyamoto one of the
Japanese stuff,
Japanese anime. I'm mixing up my Japanese directors right now. in any event, Kiki was there. I saw someone dressed up as a Totoro. It's really interesting to see what people come up with. And then there's mashups. I saw someone dressed up as Han Solo crossed with Robin Hood from the Disney animated. It was a very weird mashup, but they did a very good job with it. And then obviously, people come into the parks with their costumes before the party actually begins. Yeah. So even on the last day I was there, I didn't go to the party for the last day, but it was starting right after I left the park, so I was seeing other people in costume at that point.
I mean, that's kind of the cool thing with the party, isn't it? Because you can, if you just go into that event, you can get into the park from about 4 o'clock, if I remember rightly. So you can kind of get a few hours on the night. Now, I did the Hove last time. We were there for about 5 years since we did the Booty thing, because we went the following year after. We were like, no, we did it last year, so we wouldn't do it again. And I remember we loved it. We loved that Booty parade. That song still haunts us to this very day.
Stuck in my head.
It's stuck in our head. It's literally like It's a Small World now for that song. We loved that parade. We saw it twice. And, you had the Headless Horseman. I mean, to be honest, it doesn't sound like it's like when we were watching the video the other night, it was like, well, they haven't really changed it. It's still the same. It feels like it's exactly the same party as it was 5 years ago. They don't look like they've changed a lot.
Yeah, and I think that's the other thing, it's one of those parties where I felt like it was awesome to do it once, and I would highly encourage anyone who's interested to go and do it, but I don't think I need to do it again. Whereas the Christmas party, which admittedly is not that much different, I could see myself doing that as like a semi-annual thing, doing it maybe every other year or whatever. And I think it's just because, when you do the Christmas thing, it feels more like the park is into the holiday. It's much more themed around it, and you get kind of more into the atmosphere of the Christmas holiday than you do with the Halloween.
I mean, Main Street always looks amazing with all the foliage and the pumpkins.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's funny because my sister-in-law, they've gone out to Orlando for their honeymoon, so they're out there now. So I'm getting pictures daily from her, and showing off like the pumpkins and stuff. But for them, their big thing that they want to do for Halloween is they're doing they basically put the entire thing around going to the Halloween Horror Nights. That's their thing that they wanted to do. That was literally, they wanted to be in Florida for the Halloween, to do the Halloween Horror Nights as their honeymoon. They even had a Halloween themed wedding. So this kind of thing for them, that's what they really see. Because I remember saying, you should go do the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party, which they looked at me like, no. It's like, no, it's like, I'm not doing the scary, that Halloween Horror Nights is like, it looks creepy, but also I don't like any of the franchises. I'm not a horror fan, so it's like completely. So for me, Not So Scary Halloween is like, we were like, of course we want to do the kids one. We don't want to do the big adult scary one. That's not for us. But no, I mean, I do think like this Halloween thing. You Americans, we're bringing it over here, but we don't quite feel it the same way that you do. We don't have pumpkin spice starting in January.
Yeah, I mean, Halloween is one of those more middle ground things. I think most people are more excited by the idea of Halloween than they are by Halloween itself. People just like we're going to go dress up and we're going to dedicate time to scaring ourselves, which, for people who are into that, awesome. Yeah. Go for it. Have fun. Do your thing. But I'm with you on this one. I'm like, I'm good. Good. I will admire other people's awesome costumes, absolutely, but I'm not the kind who's going to go out and spend a lot of time or money or both on a really awesome costume. I'm thinking like I might end up buying like the Poe Dameron helmet that's like $80-something at Best Buy here, and just be like, I'll wear that leather jacket, good to go.
No, I'm all set. For trick or treating tonight, we'll be closing the curtains and turning the lights off. That's my usual plan. That is knock knock knock, trick or treat. No one home. Go away. Or leave a big empty bowl right outside. Nobody moves. Yeah, so it's not that kind of thing, but it's definitely an interesting event, and it's great to hear that you did have a good time.
It's fun. Like I said, I recommend it to anybody who wants to experience it. You also get the added benefit of having far less people in the park and no fast passes, which means all the rides, for the most part, you can just kind of 10-15 minute wait, with the exception of Peter Pan. A Haunted Mansion, specifically for this one, Haunted Mansion was like 45 minutes. No, we'll do it during the regular hours.
We actually did. We did that because we watched the parade, we watched the fireworks, and we went down to Haunted Mansion. I think everybody else watching the parade had the same idea because it was packed, but also it was all eerie because all the smoke was coming up right across all the queue, and then we were a bit like I was a bit like, we're here on Halloween, we got to do. It's that thing. We got to do it in the dark, and the queue was all scary, and it was kind of one of those, I don't really remember doing. I think we literally remember walking on to Winnie the Pooh because we hadn't done it during the day, and we were a bit like, it was an hour wait during the day, and it was like 2 minutes in the evening. But I don't really remember doing any other rides.
So I did do the Haunted Mansion at night. It was literally the last ride that we did because like that's the only time we're going to be able to do it. It was a 20-minute wait even then. It was cool because you get into the ride, you get into that first room, or sorry, the second room where, you know, the paintings come down from the walls and whatnot. And everybody in there was reading the lines along right with the narrator. Like, is this room actually getting to, and that was a really cool experience.
See, my favorite bit at that point is I usually will then, while it's completely dark, start going.
Yeah, most of the people in there did that. It was great. But then also immediately after we got off the ride, there were two comedians or people in the park dressed up in costume, and they were sitting up on the little hill that's right to your right as you come out of the ride, and they were just riffing on each other, and it was hilarious. We actually just stood there for like 10 minutes just listening to these guys go back and forth. They were talking with the people in the audience, it was so much fun, and I think we were just lucky on the timing, but and it's also definitely something that's specific to the Halloween party, but that was great. I don't know who they were. I don't know what their real names were, what the name of the act is or anything, but it was utterly fantastic.
Yeah, it's definitely. I think it adds to it. If you're there during that period, I personally think it's worth doing once. You know, if you do it some people do it, but it's a unique thing. It's definitely
it's different if you live there too.
Yeah, but for especially if you're going out during that time, it is a little bit expensive, and I can see why some people don't do it, especially for international people going out. If you've got a 14-day pass to go in all the parks, to buy another ticketed event to get in there. I think it's always that really bad thing, like when they think, oh, you've got to leave now. No, I have a ticket. It's not any cheaper today. Why am I going to leave halfway through? But there is that thing as well of like, I think by getting rid of the crowds, it helps with the candy, because I think if everyone was still in there, there'd be not a lot of candy.
Yeah, well, you could definitely tell, at least by the time we got there, that which candy was popular and which ones weren't, because I've got piles of M&Ms, and only a handful of like Snickers and Skittles, and I think I got like one pack of Maltesers and stuff like that. But yeah, it's a good experience. Obviously, the longer you wait, the less there's going to be. I will say, one of the things they advertised. Some pins. So, Disney trading pins is one of those big things right now. And they had advertised some mystery pin packs, which I actually was kind of interested in. I'm normally not interested in them, but I was like, these are actually some really cool designs. I don't think they ever actually got them because they listed them as sold out. And I was talking to people who'd been there like the second day, and they're like, no, it was sold out then too. So I think they might have hit some production problems with that one, but that's just one minor tiny thing. Less money for me to have to spend.
Yes, that's always a good thing. But we'd love to know what you guys are. What do you guys think of the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party if you've been before? And let us know your thoughts on that as well. As per usual, guys, remember to hit that subscribe button or like button or follow button on whichever platform you are watching or listening this on. Go check us out over at DisKingdom.com, and remember you can add us to your RSS feeds, add us to Twitter, likes, etc. to find out all the latest stories. James, where can they find you?
Find me heroiclegacy.com, and one last note, it was Hayao Miyazaki who did Kiki's Delivery Service, as well as Spirited Away, Princess Mononoke, and all sorts of other fantastic movies. I am a big fan, and I will go find some fitting punishment for forgetting his name there for you guys. Sorry about that.
On that note, guys, thank you very much for joining us. See you guys soon. Later.